I had been looking for the kids pretty steadily. And I had gone over to Beatrice's store several times because there was just something that just, Beatrice, you sure you don't know where Wanda is? Where she's gone? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't. These are my kids. And if there's something going on here, I need to know because this really bothers me. Because Beatrice knew that there wasn't any kind of abuse between Wanda and I, other than harsh words going on between Wanda and I. But there wasn't any kind of physical abuse or anything that was going on that way. And the kids were always with me every time I went into the store. Well, she had a couple of other ladies that worked for her. And one of the ladies who was there knew everything that happened. And knew that Wanda had come over and that they had helped her get her things into and moved her, and that Beatrice facilitated all of that. And that it was strange that because Beatrice, whenever I would leave, Beatrice would say how terrible a person I was and how mean I was and all of this stuff. And the lady that was watching didn't seem to feel that way about me. Are you sure he's that way? Is that the way you mean he's really that way? Yeah, that's the way he is, But finally, Barbara and I did a seminar on rebirthing with a group of people. I finally got to the point where I was able to let go because I really didn't know where the kids were. I was concerned. My mother was very concerned. She thought she would never see the kids again. But she got the blessing of Nicholas. Never mind. We'll come back. Anyway, I told everybody at this seminar that I'd finally come to the point that I realized that whether the kids came back tomorrow or whether they came back 10 years from now, will just be the way it has to be. Everything will be okay. I'm okay with that now. And so that whole thing happened. The following morning, around 5 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call. And they said, "Is this Dennis TerraNova?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "The Dennis TerraNova is missing his kids." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, I think I can help you, but if they knew that I was calling you, they would kill me." Right? And I shook my head and I said, "What?" And then she hung up. Well, she called back and we talked again, and she told me that Beatrice knew everything, that the kids were at a potato farm in Idaho. The owner of the potato farm was part of the Kingston polygamous group. His name was Ray Brown. And so that's where she was at. And when she talked to me, she said she might even be pregnant with Ray's child. Right? And I said, "Oh, okay, whatever. Maybe she should just give me the kids and stay there." But that turned out to all be crap and bullshit. Right? But what turned out to be true was that Wanda was at this potato farm with the kids. And so the Kingston family, they have an attorney, and Carl Kingston's a pretty well-known attorney here in town today, even now. Bob Macri, who was my good friend and attorney, knew Carl, but when I heard that
Beatrice knew and that it was involved and that it was the Kingston family, I took pictures of my kids and I went over and I sat down in Carl's office. And I told him, these are my kids and they're missing. And I've been told that they're amongst your people, amongst your group. And I've been told that. I want you to do something about it. I want them back and I want to do something about it. And he said, well, I don't know anything about it. Well, then I got the information that Ray Brown was where they were at. And I told him that, and he said, oh. And so he picked up the phone while I was sitting in the office and dialed Ray. And I said, hey, Ray, do you have a woman by the name of Wanda Terranova that's up there with her 4 kids?
54 divided by 9 is...
Yeah, he said,
6.
I suggest you have them back down here in the valley tomorrow morning, and that everything better be okay, because the police are going to come to your farm tomorrow to get them. You better take care of this. And Wanda was back in the city with my 4 kids at the Catholic parish, at the Catholic center up in the avenues. And I went to, and there's a whole lot of story involved that I haven't told you. I mean, all the details in the end. But on Barbara's birthday, January 16th, the kids came back into my life. And Barbara and I had been together all of that time. And I looked at them and, you know, told them that, nah, I was driving a little Toyota station wagon. Barbara had been helping me. When I got the kids,
Oh, that's true.
it was like they were running and the police were going to be there and blah, blah, and none of that happened. It was all just a bunch of, you know, and so got the kids, put them in the car, and we were getting ready to leave, and Barbara was standing on the sidewalk looking at 5 kids, because my daughter was also there, and Denise was also there, and me in this Toyota, and I looked at her and I said, well, want to go? And she did. We've been together ever since. That's been 32 years. You know,
30. No, 30 total, really.
Really?
Truly. It was 87. This is 217.
That's right.
Yeah.
30. And so,
I've been married for 39 years.
huh?
I've been married for 39 years.
You know, when I look at it, with Wanda, it's 48.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
been married because
and
Wanda came back. The judge was going to put her in jail because she broke the court order. And he said, don't take the kids out of the area. And she did that. And he was going to put her in jail. And I told him that would be of no value. Of no value at all. Wouldn't help the kids, won't help her, won't help anybody in the area. It'd just be a big waste of money. You know? And the judge
it's not like there's other kids she's going to go kidnap now.
You know, but, you know, so the judge gave me custody. We went through 2 years of psychological evaluation. Barbara and I were married about 3 weeks after that court case, wasn't it?
No. Wait, no. First off, it was in January. You
Well, we
got the
kids
divorce.
back. Yeah. Wait.
So she
When the
came
kids
back,
came
and
back-
like the next week, you got the divorce.
Yeah, the judge
And
said,
then
when
you
we all
said-
met together, he said, first let me get you divorced.
Yeah.
And he did that and handed me the paper. Right? And then
And you came home, or you came over to my place, and you said, "So I guess we ought to tell your parents it's time to throw a big party."
yeah,
That was the way he asked me to marry him.
and the reason we couldn't get married. I was getting state assistance. If we got married, all of that disappeared.
Well, we didn't realize that until like 3 weeks or so before the wedding, and my parents had.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were 48 years together, and neither of their kids had gotten married. So they were very happy I was getting married. 5 kids, who cares? It's, great. Sounds good.
And by that time, Barbara and I were. I was at a stage of realization within myself that I realized that the authority that came through me has always been with me. And that. Not that I reject any authority, but just that the authority is also mine to perform that which I feel is true to myself. So, Barbara and I, when we got married, and we got married legally a year later, 9 months.
It's like 13. It's 14, 4 and 12, 16 months.
Yeah.
Later.
We had a great party in July. We had a wedding march. Parents were there.
Parents,
people,
family, friends from the day I was born, where they had flew in.
I mean, it was just,
it was a big
It was
deal.
a great party, and we didn't have a minister. We didn't have anybody. We had our.
My dress only cost $75, and it was gorgeous.
And I was wearing an Indian suit,
A beautiful,
a beautiful silk Indian suit from India.
High comment color.
Yeah, Nehru jacket style,
only more
Michael
flowing.
Michael knows clothes.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it was a great time. We had a wonderful experience, and we had a wonderful thing. We didn't really get married. We just had a great party and a good time, and we wanted everybody to believe that, including the kids.
Well, and we married. I actually applied. I got my insurance and everything from that time.
Yeah, and so we
had a honeymoon. I took his. I go by Bellows-TerraNova. I created that name. I was no longer just Bellows. I mean, it was real. It just didn't have the paper signed because his social worker said, "Don't do it. Don't do it.
If you do that, you're going to lose everything."
And we did sign this beautiful proclamation that I did in calligraphy, which I'm good at, and it was and it's a statement of our uniting, and then asked everyone to come up and sign it in this gold pen, and that would be, and it hangs on our wall. It's beautiful.
So so we had this uniting, and then a year later we were married by a good friend of ours.
Well, actually, they were the co-ministers at Church of Religious Science.
Church of Religious Science, and I had a pretty big falling out with the church.
Wait, which church?
The Mormon church.
Okay, because you had just said the others. So that was a little confusing.
I had a pretty big falling out with the church. To the point that I have my own feelings, beliefs. I heard something that I'll ask you about in a while later, but
You pooping?
You okay?
it didn't work for Wanda and I.
She's pooping and it takes,
And we put everything into it,
You heard?
It never.
Yes.
When I met Barbara, we were more married in the first hours of knowing each other than I was to Wanda in 18 years. I'm deadly serious about this. We just blended. I mean, it when we got together, it meshed in such a way. I'd never felt that experience with Wanda. I've never felt that ease and comfort, that relaxation, that feeling of wholeness with Wanda. Just never felt it. And when I met Barbara, it overwhelmed me. It literally overwhelmed me, and I fought it for quite a while. I had 2 girlfriends for a while. Yeah, and then Barbara and I got married. The time that we were together during the period of time that the kids were missing, from July to January. I believe it was meant to happen because Barbara and I had to fill in 18 years because I knew that when we met, we were gonna be, and there was a lot of stuff. I mean, if we go back and tell you the whole story of where she was, how she ended up in Salt Lake, how she ended up going to the same place I did, how I ended up back in Salt Lake at the exact same time she did.
Oh, the time when you came into the church, I recognized you.
Yeah.
It's really strange, wasn't it? I knew your name, you knew my name too.
We
were soulmates, like we knew each
Yeah,
other from
yeah.
previous.
You know, I mean, it's always, it was just where we were. And I'd never felt that with Wanda. The period of time that she was gone, Barbara and I got to know each other. Her parents got to know me. My parents got to know her without the kids. And when the kids came back, it was a new experience.
For everybody, yeah. For everybody.
But, you know, all the kids have turned out to be good kids. You know, all of them. Barbara and I had one daughter together, Ava. And she just got married October 2nd. And her wedding was very much like our wedding, except, oh, here, this will work. This is, come on, give me my 3 daughters. Here we are. Okay, so this is Denise, right? This is Jessica, my youngest with Wanda, and this is Ava. Turn it this way, it might be better. Yeah, there we go. And this is Ava. And her boyfriend got married. They got married this last October 2nd. This is their house. These are the 3 sisters being cute. But this is Ava's house. This beautiful dress that she's wearing is like her mother's, a $75 dress. And $50 worth of alterations makes it look like it's $25,000. And this is their home. Chris is a physicist. He works for Thumb Drive.
No, iFlash. I am Flash down in
Flash.
Lehigh.
That's what it is. That's Chris, her husband. And he's very shy, but
They've been together for 7 years.
yeah, he's a physicist, that's what he's got his degree in.
No, actually, he's got a bachelor's in both physics and math.
And advanced mathematics. Yeah.
And hers is in theater.
And she's got a theater degree. Whoops. Here we go. So this is my oldest son, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. Denise is the oldest in the family, of course. And Jonathan. And this is Jessica and Ava. And then I have two more sons, Daniel and Nicholas. And I have pictures of them here someplace, but just not at the wedding. This wedding was really nice. It was done in their home. They wanted no more than 20 people.
Yes, you can. You can definitely help me guide the knife because you know Ava's famously bad.
Yeah, stop. This is their cake. A little beautiful little cake costs almost $400 by the time you've experienced that experience. Anyway, and this is their best friend Danny, and Danny is actually marrying them, and she got her minister's license, and she's doing that. This is Chris's parents, right here. He's worked for the church for 30 years.
Oh, something, yeah.
He's in the insurance part of the church where he does stuff for them. Yeah. And so, they had this beautiful ceremony. They had beautiful words to say to each other.
Yeah, there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
Chris comes from an all-boy family, so his 5 brothers. 5 brothers.
And his mother is just such a delightful, and she's so excited to have a daughter.
Wendy is such a wonderful woman. And this is Chris's grandmother, one of Chris's grandmothers. Because they didn't want to do this in a church, here we are. That's Denise with her husband and his 4 brothers. Sorry.
That's Ava, not Denise.
Whatever,
it's one of those kids. You just call her Denise.
Ava, Denise, Jessica, and any of them. Could be any of their names.
Yeah.
She. Hello.
Hi, Benjamin.
Hi, Benjamin. How are you?
You know, he may need to spend some time with his family.
Yeah. And so, this is Chris and his boys, and so that's where they're into. They loved it. We've become people.
It was lovely. It was completely different than any of the family had ever thought, but it ended up being perfect. They decided to do it because she'd gotten a new job. She didn't have insurance. Let's just do this now. And they wanted to and then they created their own incredibly beautiful ceremony in a beautiful setting in the new home they have. Every place you looked, it was magical looking.
Oh,
it was
great.
Just beautiful, beautiful cake. It was just lovely. And then they served a sit-down dinner that they cooked. I was just like, oh my goodness, you're such high achievers. You've done such a beautiful job here.
There's only 20 people there, but that's all they wanted. This is the signing of the documents. They're outside signing the documents in front of her house. They live up on 23rd and 27th.
No, Highland.
Highland and 27th, sorry. I used to live just down the street.
Like 4 houses down.
4 houses down the street from this
the house she basically grew up in.
Yeah. And so they have this wonderful experience. And